remember how in the last vlog I said, well, I didn't say, but I predicted that the episode Is That You is going to be kind of important, kind of emotional, based on the title. Well, I was kind of right. This Is That You? In this episode, Jake and Finn, actually, I should say Finn and Jake, are reminiscing about Prismo. They're doing this ritual. I don't know how often they do it. Basically, every now and then they'll just eat a pickle from the pickle jar Prismo gave Jake way back in, I forget, it was either the opening of season 6 or at the end, at the start of season 5, when Prismo gives Jake the pickle jar along with the note. So anyway, they're reminiscing at Prismo. I do like how are showing Jake dealing with the loss of Prismo. I'm glad that they're not sweeping that aside. I mean, amongst all the craziness that happened in season 6's opener, it's pretty easy to forget about that. So I'm glad they're acknowledging it. Anyway, so they do some ritual, and Jake's acting all crazy. He's reenacting the greatest hits of Jake in the treehouse, which I thought was kind of funny. And kudos to any fans who actually got all the stuff Jake was reenacting. Like, the only thing I got was the bacon pancakes and the everything burrito. So anyway, so Finn, eventually Finn figures out anytime he tries to interrupt Jake or disrupt his focus from reenacting something he's done, Jake freaks out and explodes and reenacts something else. So eventually Finn's like, you know what, maybe I think the best way to do this is just to wait until he reenacts the pickle eating ceremony we did last night, reenact that, and then just see what happens. And it turns out it causes the pickle jar to glow, and Jake goes inside it. Finn goes after him, and it turns out Prismo, when he gave Jake the pickle jar, he had this backup plan in case he somehow died. He came up with some crazy plan to bring himself back to life. It's so complicated, I'm not even going to bother explaining it to you. So anyway, so point of the plan is it somehow clones Finn and Jake, causing Jake to sleep, which brings Prismo back to the life. So while one clone of Jake sleeps, the other Jake, Finn and Jake will have happy lives. Also, this other hologram of Finn explodes, and this recording, I guess, of Finn explodes, and Finn gets a new sword. Yay! New sword! It's called the Finn sword. Oh yeah, and then Prismo turns into Jake. No, Jake turns into Prismo, and then the episode ends. And it was a pretty good episode. I mean, I was really bummed when Prismo died. I really love Prismo. I was like, oh no, not Prismo! So I'm happy they brought him back. I mean, I am a little disappointed though. Like, you know, I thought for what moment it seemed like they had killed off a major character on Adventure Time, but they just brought him back. But at the same time, like, who knows? Maybe Cartoon Network gave them notes that they can't kill anyone, because Prismo's death occurred in this season, so maybe when they wrote Prismo's death, they knew they were going to bring him back. I don't know. Point is, Prismo's back, and I'm happy. And I would criticize the way they bring back Prismo being confusing and convoluted, but they went all out, and they were self-aware, and I'd rather see them go all the way. And to be fair, if I think about it, I can sort of make sense of Prismo's plan, but you know, sometimes it's entertainingly confusing. And plus, we got Prismo back, and I really like the world Finn and Jake were in. It was very simple yet very creative and effective. I do love the whole recreation, reenacting concept. It reminded me a lot of Ratchet and Clank Future: A Crack in Time when Clank's able to create the recordings of himself. Kind of like that. And I also, again, enjoy all the nods to previous episodes again. I didn't get them all, but I'm sure there's like diehard Adventure Time fans out there who can remember them all. I've seen every episode of Adventure Time, but I don't remember all of them. See, I need to look up which episodes they referenced in that. And it was also sort of a clip show in a way. We had like clips of all these previous episodes of Adventure Time. Although the show was a bit more clever about it than other episodes I've done clip shows. I'm not going to badmouth Korra for it because the creators were forced into doing that. They didn't do that of their own free will, so I'm not going to fault them. But again, clever way to do a clip show. Although the ending did leave me wondering, is Jake Prismo? Because Adventure Time is one for random endings, but at the end of it, it ends with Jake sleeping there and he turns into Prismo. So is Jake Prismo? Is this like one of those time travel cycle things where where, you know, like how in some films there's a cliche if you go back in time to prevent something, but by going back in time to prevent it, you cause it? Is this one of those where destroying Prismo sets into motion the chain of events that creates him? Because if so, that's kind of convoluted, but it's also really creative. I mean, it would explain why Jake and Prismo bond so easily. I mean, if they are the same person, it's totally understandable that they get along. But it also really makes Prismo's death darker because we're essentially seeing Jake's death. Although, then there's a possibility it's not. I mean, they're different voice actors. I mean, if Jake was really voicing both, it would have listed in the credits, or they might have even tried to hide Prismo's voice actor. Again, they aren't the same voice actor. Also, we established, like, in, I forget, either season 1 or season 2, there was the episode where Jake had the dream about his death. So we know how Jake dies, and he also, specifically that he dies without Finn, and both when he goes to sleep, and, I mean, he's not with Finn when he goes to sleep. I guess you got it yet, but still, I mean, he's with Finn. And so if you want to argue that his death is when he's asleep, I guess you can make the argument. But when he actually dies, Finn's with him. So, or maybe it has, I don't know, but it kind of goes against that, is what I'm getting at. And also, if it is, I doubt it is. I mean, the writers, I'm pretty sure, again, I can't speculate, but I don't think when they wrote Prismo they knew they were going to do this episode. I mean, they might have, but it seems very unlikely, or they probably would have set it up from the beginning. Doing stuff such as having Prismo and Jake be the same voice actor. Again, like Finn's new sword, was wondering when he was going to get a new sword. It's a little disturbing that it's Finn, but it looks pretty cool. So yeah, all around, pretty good episode, way more engaging than the last one. And I cannot wait for the next one, which is Jake the Brick, which they released a clip of it on YouTube like a month or two back when Adventure Time was at New York Comic Con. And the clip, from what I've seen of the clip, it looks really cool, so I cannot wait for that one. And I've noticed that we've been getting a lot of we've been getting a handful of Finn and Jake focused episodes in this part of the season, which is interesting because we had the first couple episodes, which were, aftermath of season 6 opener. Then we got a bunch of episodes about a bunch of other characters, and now we're getting all these Finn and Jake in the treehouse, either just chilling there or going somewhere. So I'm kind of wondering, was that intentional, or if not, why didn't they just alternate between Finn and Jake episode, random character episode? I don't know. Because, I mean, if I've looked on Wikipedia, and they've been flopping around with the order of the episodes quite a bit, so I don't know. But it doesn't matter. Again, I'm happy to have Adventure Time back. Pretty good episode, and I cannot wait for the next one. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. Please leave your thoughts on the episode below. Like, dislike, subscribe. And this is JStar260, signing out.